Hello everyone. For this practice, we're going to work with the mantra Sat Siti Siti Akal. We're going to move our body while we listen to this divine mantra. We're going to download this mantra into our psyche through moving our body and through opening up our psychic channel so that we can add this mantra to our toolkit so that we can create a very sacred auric field, right? All these mantras is basically marking our auric field, marking our 10 body system, our 8 chakra. And the marking is integrating and installing a higher dimensional sound current. So these mantras, they belong to a 5th dimensional stream of energy, right? That's very spherical, right? So we put in these 5th dimensional mantras that was actually given to the ancient past and the ancient future, right? Through us and through our ancestors as a way to upgrade the human experience, to help human beings fulfill their creative destiny. So all of these mantras are working with upgrading the human intelligence, the human ego, the human heart, so that these humans can experience the fulfillment of their contract with Earth and also to fulfill the creative destiny. So all of these mantras, they work with they target different areas of the human experience, right? From emotional body to the sensual body to the psychological, the physiological, the mental, the inner psyche, to help create a major shift that can help the human being begin to open up the imagination, open up that shamanistic mind so that they can move forward with excellence. So this was generously given to human beings by who we call the gods or the star beings or the angels, the archangels. It was given to human beings generously from other planetary systems who have ascended into 5th dimensional and beyond a mastery, right? As a way to help humanity experience its own mastery of the 3rd dimension, 5th dimension, going into the 7th dimension. So we have human beings, we've mastered the 5th dimension already. We've had golden ages on this planet, and this planet, talk about the 7 levels of heaven, the 7 levels of hell. This planet holds a sort of 7-dimensional mastery, we'll say. While we think of other planets like the Arcturians hold like a 12th dimensional mastery, and Pleiades, again, they also have a higher frequency that they're accessing that is more celestial and gets out of the terrestrial. So we have human beings like the Lyran beings, we are primarily mostly physical. We enjoy being physical. So, we work with celestial, vibrations, light being type of energies, but we kind of keep it, right, this 2-dimensional to the 7th dimension, right? While, there's all kinds of Arcturian beings that kind of go a way into a deep celestial frequency. So when we put in these mantras, basically what we're doing is we're sort of expanding our range of frequency and what we can sensitize ourselves to, right? So there's all like I said, there's 2-dimensional frequencies. We're in that, it's kind of dense, it's physical, and then we get into 5th dimensional and we can start to stretch, right? We can start to stretch our consciousness and be able to kind of conceptualize and interact with these other concepts and ideas that belong to frequencies that are at a particular vibrational resonance. And mantra, within mantra itself, particularly the Mal mantra, root mantra, it has the kind of universal codes, kind of like Morse code, where, when you have the foundational code, right, to kind of kind of decipher, right, these celestial energies. You can sort of decipher any of these celestial energies, regardless of what planetary system in the sort of difference, right, from like Orion and the Pleiadians and the Lyrans and the Draconians and the Reptilians and all these different kind of beings. When there's a sort of soul signature that is embedded in every language, every coding, every civilization, every intelligence that's ever sort of came to be in this universe, and you can kind of decipher and unlock it within yourself through the mantra, because the mantra is basically a way, like a pathway to connect you with your soul's mantra. And your soul's mantra has within it, kind of when we think of the gene, right, the gene that has all the genes, your soul mantra is the gene that has all genes, right? So we think of like African genes is like the gene that has every gene on this planet, from like white, Asian, Hispanic, these type of things. Your soul mantra has within it the sort of ingredients and the sort of connection to vast amount of creation and other planetary systems and other galaxies and other life forms and other dimensions and other kind of star beings and terrestrial beings and intergalactic beings, right? So we're going to connect with our soul's mantra through this mantra, because again, all these mantras is basically kind of a pathway, kind of clearing the way for us to reconnect and to sort of solidify and embody the soul signature, the soul frequency, the soul mantra. And the sort of accomplishment is that soul embodiment, because within that soul embodiment there is this deathlessness, there's this fearlessness, and there's also this great sense of completion, right? A sense of knowing how to navigate. And the soul self and the soul embodiment, the soul mantra is very shamanistic in nature. So those who are working on that soul embodiment, there's Scorpio, Pluto, it's shamanistic in nature, death, rebirth, this sort of intensity of being transformed. Like you were a Pleiadian and now you're a Draconian, now you're a human. Like that's intense to become these different shapes and shape shifting. It's very, very tense, very powerful, because you're gonna have to let go. You're gonna have to let go of an entire species if we're Pleiadian, all of a sudden we're Syrian being or Lyran being. We have to completely transcend the belief systems, the ideas, the ideologies of that particular civilization on that planet, in that system, right? And that's the kind of the completion we have when we can let go, when we can release attachments, when we can release soul ties and belief systems and limitation, and we can free ourselves of the confines of a particular even a planet, right? That's the shamanistic mind, where we can travel to different planets and we're not carrying the burden of that planet, we're not carrying the burden of the other planets that we've incarnated on, right? And that's the real sort of shamanistic gift, is to be able to go into these other dimensions, these interstellar, intergalactic regions, and be able to interact with these ideas, ideologies, and belief systems, and not get interlocked and not get trapped and kind of bound. As one of the human sort of the shamanistic service to humanity is helping trapped souls, right? Trapped souls to ascend, right? And trapped souls is just basically beings who've gotten so interlocked with judgment, shame, that they've created their own hell, right? Their own like punishment, their own purgatory, their own I'm just trapped with this soul group, or I'm just bound to earth and just gonna keep recycling again and making the same mistakes and hating myself, right? And that that all stems from being very attached to belief system, not being able to let go, right? So shaman comes into, you know, the kind of underworld, right, where there's the trapped souls, right, and it kind of shakes things up and kind of presents a very liberating thought of freedom, right? And that liberating thought, you know, the shaman carries these tools, you know, all these mantras, and kind of sort of amplifies their own soul frequency, their own soul embodiment, their own soul mantra to basically kind of rattle and shake the shackles off of people mentally, psychologically, right? So that they can start to kind of reawaken or sort of resurrect, right, their soul's mantra, and why they came to earth, and you know, and how they can keep moving towards their creative destiny. Because when we're in purgatory and we're ghosts and trapped souls, you know, there's a sense of I forget why I came to earth. I gotten too lost in the programs and the beliefs and all of this chaos of earth. You know, it's just, you know, so much going on in the polarity. I got kind of real confused by the duality of this planet. And it kind of, you start to reconnect with that soul mantra, and you start to really potentiate yourself, rocket yourself towards your creative destiny. And you know, that shamanistic mind is that sort of connecting the human experience with a creative destiny, so that, you know, there's a sense of purpose, there's a sense of philosophy, there's a sense of a spirituality, right, to the circumstances and the experiences for your growth of your soul, so that you can better navigate, right? So you can better navigate the polarity, the duality, so that you're not getting locked in, so you're not getting kind of confused and then scrambled, and then kind of really you lose your soul's identity, you lose your courage, right? So, you know, this earth, if you listen to the frequency of earth, like on YouTube, you know, the earth frequency it has a high frequency, no doubt, very fifth dimensional, high frequency, very rhythmic, very sound, angelic, but there's also an eerie sound, like a sound of like lost souls or trapped souls, or like, you know, aimlessly recycling, reincarnating souls. It has a eerie, it's different from like Pluto, or not Pluto, Jupiter. Jupiter has a real high kind of clean frequency, but Earth, there's another frequency. It's somewhat of a rhythmic frequency going on, like you could hear it. You know, it's like there's this beautiful sound current, but then there's also this kind of disturbance. I like to call it just, it sounds like a disturbance, right? So, you know, that disturbance is like when we come to Earth, you know, we come out of this perfectly angelic frequency, we get into the disturbance, and we're like, you know, if we you know, we can lose sight of that inner, you know, that shamanistic mind, or that soul frequency. So every meditative practice in Tibetan, the Tibetan sort of meditation, the Buddhist meditation, the Hindu Hindu meditation, the Sikh meditation, even, you know, there's this sort of Christian meditation, right, of you can chant I am that I am, right? All these meditations are all about clearing out the way for you to connect with your own soul, so that you can experience dignity. Either you're doing a Buddhist meditation of a common one is Amtatare Tutare, right? Soha. That's, again, clearing out this disturbance that makes you feel less. Because we have that on this planet, the disturbance that we've had to battle with and even deal with for a very long time. And we are still, that's why we all, the one thing about human being, the common thing that we all have towards victory or ascension is fighting spirit, right? Fighting spirit. And then, you know, in Hinduism, we again have meditations, recitations, where it's just clearing the way, clearing out the distractions, so that you can see the purity in you, so you can see the dignity in you, right? And even with, you know, Christianity, you know, even reciting the Bible is a way of like clearing out the distortions and the sort of the disturbance, and getting to the dignity of you, right, through understanding these stories and how these individuals were able to overcome situations that they're presented with as a sort of test of their dignity, right? Test of their innocence, test of their compassion and their faith. So this is just a little bit on the power of the mantra and why we work with them. So we're just going to bring our hands together. I'm going to rub them very quickly, creating some heat in our palms, our healing hands. When you bring hands together, you're also bringing your two hemispheres of the brain together, right? Which it's very important because it represents the man and the woman coming together, because we all have a masculine mind and a feminine mind. So a prayer is like the perfection of humanity, which is man and woman working together in collaboration, teamship, rather than in like fighting each other, which just creates more of this, you know, this dissonance, this disconnect, even this sort of this discord. So inhale, exhale.